here. Good to be back on this channel. And I did emphasize this channel because I have a second YouTube channel that opened up about a month ago regarding some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, guys, for all your Smash Ultimate needs, you want something from yours truly, go check out your boy on his second YouTube channel. The support would be appreciated. So, yeah, got good stuff, good content going on over there. But you did not come here for Smash Ultimate, you came for Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, before I get into that, I did move. I've been settled into my place for about a couple weeks now, and I got me a little shelf. I guess one was gave to me, and I finally am able to display some collectibles here, along with my little tapestry behind me. So, definitely let me know if you guys like something like this. I'm damn going to get more collectibles in the future, so I'm probably going to need a bigger shelf eventually. You can't really see everything here, but whatever. Anyway, guys, on to the main topic at hand. We're doing a deck profile because this deck got second place at a list. What is that list? It's Trickstar. Should I call it Trickstar deck? I don't know. I think so. I mean, you go first and you open a decent combination of like a lot of different variations. You can kind of just win from there. The only reason this deck is even able to perform is because of what the format's looking like. There's a lot of Shaddoll, Invoke, Dogmatica, Eldritch, and Dinosaurs and stuff. Like, where are the combo decks? I don't know. I got, like, just the fact that the format is still, like, not that fast and kind of slower and stuff. Like, there's not, like, these super oppressive fields. That makes a deck like Trickstar thrive and do what it wants to do a lot better, even with one light stage. So, you guys miss Trickstar as much as I do. You want light stage back to 3? Well, maybe someday. Maybe someday we'll get it back to 3. But, yeah, let's go ahead and go on to the deck profile. Enough of talking. Let's just showcase how I got second place. Alrighty, fam. You guys know the deal. Starting this bad boy off, you got your main guy, your Candina. At least this is still a 3. This makes the whole world go round, so not much to say there. It just searches for any Trickstar cards. It even searches for another copy of itself if it gets threatened and you have a chain summoning in your hand. You know, that, no spoilers there. Alright, 3 Lycoris. Man, it would be really nice to finally get a 3rd ultimate, you know what I mean? Yeah, this makes your deck a little bit more resilient to like trap cards and stuff, like Divine Punishments and not really Conquistadors, but Lycoris still hits the field anyway, so it's like, who cares? And if Candina hits the grave and all that stuff on res, you just search like live stage, get it back. Again, if you have chain summoning, they just basically made your place even better. So, yeah, Lily Bell is going to be one of. Corbane is going to be one of. I probably should play Corbane it too. I'm not sure yet how I feel about it. It only really comes up just to outwindow. Really, you kind of don't even need. You almost don't care about window in a way if you have other things to set your stuff up to just kind of just spiral your burn out of control. Because this is an FTK, kinda, and it burns. You need this for your substitute game plan if you don't have FTK. So, also this is nice for, again, Eldritch, Shaddoll, like just all those graveyard effects, man. Like this is gonna really, it's gonna put the paint on. Let's just put it that way. Especially when you got like Light Sage on board and like other things like Rim of Nightmare and all that good stuff. This Nightshade, you are playing this for the FTK. So, it basically, if Trickstar fares, the Trickstar spell card that we still do not have, the one that summons 2 tokens, if that was a card, I wouldn't be playing this. but this is kind of like a substitute. It still puts up 2 level 1 monsters on the board, because when you link this off into a Trickstar, which you're going to summon Bloom a lot, or almost all the time with this card, and it comes back, so there's your second subsequent level 1. You just basically get this off with Magical Laurel from to summon it from the hand when you burnt with like Holly Angel or Lycoris with like a Trickstar Bloom or something like that. You're going to use Bloom a lot. It's not once returned, so there's that. And the fact that, how should I put it? Lost my train of thought. Oh well. Barrier Statue for your subsequent game plan, and Honest for your other subsequent game plan. A lot of you guys that used to play Muskets back in the day already probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, hand traps, 3 Droll Knockbird because you're playing Trickstars, of course. 2 Ash because it's a hard once return. It's not really the best card right now because with a lot of these decks, like so many cards in each of these respective decks do the same thing. They all search or Foolish, so it's like it's so easily baitable. But there's like some decks where it's like you just know what you don't want to get to their hand, like for App Cologne and stuff. 3 Phantasmes. That's another good one. Phantasme. I mean, you don't have 3 Light Stage, so I mean, it gets you into stuff. It fixes your hand for you. Like it's good. It wasn't live like all tournament, but you know the times it was live, except for like one time where I was all double Phantasme and Extrav and still didn't get into Candina or Light Stage, or Terraforming. I mean, that was wild, am I right? Like, that's just absolutely crazy to me. But anyway, that's it for the monsters. On to the spell cards, man. 3 Dark Room of Nightmare, you need it for the FTK. Can you still FTK without it? Yes, you can. Your Trickstar kind of hand needs to be a little bit better if you don't open it. Basically, with Dark Room of Nightmare, every time your opponent takes any kind of burn effect damage, they take an extra 300. So if they have just Trickstar monsters, every time they get burned, they're taking 500, since all the Trickstars burn for 2. If Light Sage is also on the field, they're taking 8,000 damage every time, because Light Sage will also do an extra 2 separately, which triggers Nightmare separately. So yeah, if you have Light Sage and Room of Nightmare on the board, you are having a good day. Chain Summoning, kind of spoiled that. Turn 0 is still a thing. Your opponent's going to always want to interrupt you. Not to mention, you can also set up your own Chain Link 3. For those of you who don't know, this card, you can only activate it as Chain Link 3 or higher. But once this card resolves, you are allowed 3 normal summons that turn. And this increases the cap of how many times you can normal summon. So typically, you can only summon once per turn. The physical cap goes up to 3, meaning if you, let's say Brilliant Fusion was still in the game. If you play this, you can still play Brilliant Fusion, and Seraphonite would still grant you an additional normal summon and all that. So you would have 4 normal summons in total. This increases the cap of how many times you can normal summon without an additional effect. Alright, so yeah, with the multiple Candina summons, man, you're getting like 3 effects off. You're getting Magical Lore to your hand, Live Stage, Light Stage, and that basically gets you everything you need to FTK your opponent. Ties of the Brethren, triple of these things. This is basically Light Stage, and like second turn from. This is basically a subsequent win condition for when you don't have the FTK. You summon like on a Candina, you target it and you just summon a Barrier Statue and an Honest. You return Honest to your hand. And basically from there you can kind of just win, unless your opponent's playing Eldritch. Then it's just like, yeah, I'm sorry. Invoked, it's like, if they have the Alistair, they have it. You're probably searching for reincarnation if you open this, so even if they do have the Alistair and they get the invocation, he would just rip it from their hand anyway. Like, or if they activate Meltdown, like I wouldn't bother with that though, because if you reincarnation, you'll probably give him Invocation or another Alistair anyway. I'll just wait. But yeah, Ties of the Brethren still pretty good. Like against any other deck though, that's not Eldritch. Because I think the conks and all that are lights as well. Yeah. Yeah, except for Eldritch, like, this is typically pretty good. It stops like the Shaddoll stuff. It doesn't really stop Dogmaticas though, unfortunately. So that is a little unfortunate. 3 pots because you're playing 3 of the extra deck monsters you really need to pull off like the FTK and stuff. Actually, I kind of lied a little bit. Now that I think about it, there's probably some things I would switch up in the extra deck, specifically because Extrav is a thing. Honestly, would I still play this if I had Prosperity? I don't know. Sometimes getting the extra card is better, but sometimes you just really want to see Candina, like, a lot. But, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to play Prosperity because half damage. So, honestly, I'd still play this for that very reason. Half damage means you can just FTK your opponent. Alright. Next, we got our field spills. We got Light Stage, of course. Please come back to 3, damn it. Just come back to 3. Live Stage, you need it for the FTK and Terraforming. For those of you who aren't aware of Live Stage, first off, when you activate it, you can add a, when it's activated, i.e. the moment it resolves, like Light Stage, you can add a Trickstar monster from your graveyard to your hand. It has 2 separate effects that can summon a token, and you can use them both as long as you meet the requirements. So the first one being, if your opponent controls a card in the spell and trap card zone, you can summon a Trickstar token. All right, and it's there's another one to where if you control a Trickstar Link monster, you can summon a Trickstar token. So you can use both of those effects provided both of those conditions are met. Do keep in mind, once you use that effect to summon a token, you are locked into Trickstar monsters, period. It is not even once you do it. If you ever plan to go for it at all, during the whole turn, you cannot summon any other monsters. So, that is why the extra deck is kind of tight, because if you ever are going for this, even if you try to summon other monsters, if you special summon other monsters, prior to this being used, you can't even summon the tokens. So that is pretty unfortunate, but this is also why the Trickstar Fairs, the spell card that summons 2 tokens, is so good, and we still have it. Alright, so that's it for the field spells. Magical Laurel, it's needed for the FTK. It's a premature barrel for Trickstars. Also, when the equipped monster does damage, either battle or effect damage, you can special summon Trickstar from your hand, and that's where the Nightshade comes out of your hand. And you're summoning it to the zone of like Holly Angel to do more burn damage. Monster Reborn, of course, because more reborns, like you just reborning more Trickstars to do more damage. It's always a good thing, man. It's nice. And of course, what is a Trickstar deck without 3 reincarnation? Yep, cool. Alright. That's main deck, folks. Alright. Trickstar, Holly Angel, Field Center. Speaking of which, Holly Angel, and I think this is Cat Bat or whatever that is. I need one more Trickstar token for the field spell and maybe Fairs whenever it wants to come out. Okay, so the 3 O's who are playing for Extravs is 3 Holly Angels. You need at least 1. If you banish 2, you'll be alright. As long as you have 1. Bloom, though, you need at least 2 in your extra deck. This right here, again, it's not once per turn. When it's Link Summon, you have the option to use the effect to make your opponent draw a card. The reason why that's so good is because if you already have Dark Room on the field or whatever, and you got like Lycris on field, which if you resolve Chain Summoning, you will have it on the field, or it'll be brought back with Magical Laurel, and you would go Bloom, make your opponent draw a card, they take damage, Magical Laurel effect, summon Nightshade from your hand, and that's how you get that off. Make another Bloom, Nightshade, bring itself out, make them draw another card, you burn more damage. Like you get the idea. 3 of these. This is just in case like you can't really pull off the full FTK, but you can also go into this with like Nightshades, Lycris, Lily Bells, just any level 2 or it requires level 3 or lower Trickstar, so you can't use Candina for it, unfortunately, or a Corbane. But when it's summoned, you deal damage. Also, anytime your opponent summons a monster, normal or special, they also take damage. So this is good to sit on. Sometimes, yeah, this kind of completes the FTK. Your opponent even summons a monster, they just lose. You'll keep Lycris on the board a lot, and yeah, you're having a good time. But if also some of the things that you can use to complete the FTK, Bella Madonna is a really good card because it outs a lot of the BS, or not outs, but it basically just says you can't touch me, and you gotta try to run me over to do something about it. And a lot of times, if you're smart, you'll have this linked up with down here somewhere with Holly Angel up top. And for any Trickstar players, y'all know anything that Holly Angel's pointing to can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So, as long as this is not pointing to anything, it's unaffected by activated effects. So, passive effects do still affect it, like if there's like skill drain or something already on the board, whatever. But, also, if this is not pointing to any Trickstars, you can activate the effect to burn your opponent for 200 for each Trickstar in your graveyard with different names. So at the end of your combo, when you make this, you're going to deal quite a bit. You'll deal like 12 to 1400 if they use Light Stage. In Dark Room, they're going to take even more, and all that. Foxy Glove Witch. This is typically for going second if your opponent, especially... This is another reason why Trickstars is kind of decent in this format, because your opponent's setting a lot of cards. This will burn them for 200 for each card they control. Also, when this is destroyed, I believe, you can summon a Trickstar linked 2 or lower, which will typically be this, the Diva, from your extra deck, and then burn your opponent for 200 for each card they control. So you can do that twice in the same turn. And they take a lot of damage. I've closed out games because of this. Because of the back row, all the monsters, like whatever. So, and also this is in Link 3, so you can, if you're trying to stack more damage, you can just link climb into this with like a Holly Angel on board just to deal more damage. And then climb into Bella Madonna, and you'll be fine. Crimson Heart. This is for when you're just, honestly, if you're just that good at the game where you just open so good and you got like Reincarnation in your hand, but in the middle of your combo, you're definitely going to be leading by 2000. Just discard like the Reincarnation, you draw 2 cards. Also, your opponent just drew, so Lycris is on the board, they still get burned. Light Stage or Reincarnation can bring out like Link 2s or something that are already in the graveyard, so then you can climb into Bella Madonna even faster. So that's something. Black Cat Bat. This is for like going second when there's like big monsters, and you can just drop your opponent's monsters down to size. I've gotten into it a couple times, even on like Dueling Book and stuff. This thing, this is really good in the grind game because it gets back your banished Trickstars. It gets back those reincarnations and stuff. So you can always have reincarnations ready and available, especially with those decks that want to try and force you to grind. It's for those decks. And the last extra deck monster is Barricade Board Blocker. This is for when you don't have like Live Stage, or let's say you use the Live Stage or whatever already over Light Stage. And you're forced into a grind situation. You can make Barricade and get Light Stage back to your hand. You can reactivate Light Stage to start revamping up all that damage, and also just stunning back row. So that is the only non-Trickstar extra deck monster that's in here. I should probably make more space for maybe another Bella Madonna. Maybe it'll be this because I use the least amount, but typically, I don't need to run anything over, weirdly enough. Like, Corbane by itself is, like, good enough a lot of times. So we got a Triple Solemn Judgment. Did not side this at all. This is really supposed to be Heavy Storm Dusters. I couldn't find mine. Yeah, Heavy Storm Dusters because of all the back row. And, you know, you want to stuff out Schism and Punishment and all that before it's too late. 3 Lancias of this. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I sided it in quite a bit. More than what I care to admit. Yeah, it's Lancia. What can you say? You're gonna see a lot of hand traps, man. Like nibs. I sided this in like once. Like, people just want to grind, man. People just want to grind. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. Imperms. This card actually overperformed. It did better than I thought it was gonna do. Yeah, like the card is just like, it turns off window, man. Like, turns off window. Whenever it just hits these like these things that people typically don't account for. Like, I've hit what did I hit? I've hit so many cards. I'm just like Imperm, and it's just like, dang, that's like the one thing I can interact with. This is like, wow, who plays this? I'm like, I know, right? Like, this card's nice. Like, I turned off like floodgates and stuff with it too, so it was nice. And Cosmic Cyclone, again, you want to snuff out. You want to wait for Shaddoll Schism to get flipped over just so you can snuff it out. Like, you rather banish it, because if anything, if they make like a construct or window or whatever and it goes to the grave, they'll just get the Schism back in your hand. You still have to deal with Winda, and nobody wants to deal with Winda. Of course, Eldritch as well. Just banish their like elixirs or golden lands, like whatever. Yeah, card did what I wanted it to do. So yeah. Well, that is the deck profile, guys. If you guys want a combo tutorial on how to do the FTK, yeah, let's get this bad boy up to oh man, let's get it to 30 likes. Why not? I think that's doable. 30 likes, guys. I'll end up doing the combo tutorial for Trickstar FTK for those of you who don't know how to execute it and all that. So with that being said, guys, that is it from me. Alrighty, folks, you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video. Yeah, Trickstars, I think my build's pretty unique for a Trickstar deck. Like, you're seeing cards in there that you saw within like the very first iteration. We're talking about way back when the deck first came out in 2017. Yeah, but it works. I mean, and a lot of that stuff is just easy side outs if you're going second. So it worked. That infinitrack deck though, gotta figure that match out a little bit more, but yeah, that's what time. I don't think a lot of you have faced against that deck, so it's whatevs. But in case, yeah, Trickstar second place. Who knew? Whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is J Money. I am signing out. When I wake up, oh, I can't help but to wonder.